Hello. This week's episode is Franz Kafka. One of the most impacting authors today was born on July 3rd, 1883, and died on July 3rd, 1923. Through the duration of his lifespan, Kafka impacted readers and changed the literature world today. He was born in Prague, the capital of Bohemia, and tragedy early shaped through his life in the Kafka home. When Kafka's two brothers, Gregor and Heinrich, died in infancy at the age of 6, this left Kafka alone in a family of girls, sad and depressed. With the death of his family, this is often why Kafka's writing was dark and ominous. Kafka had a difficult relationship with both of his parents. His mother, Julie, was a devoted homemaker who lacked intellectual depth to understand her son's dreams to become a writer. Kafka's father, Hermann, had a forceful personality that often overwhelmed the Kafka home. He was a successful businessman pressuring Kafka to join him. This made Kafka's dreams nearly impeccable. This is why Kafka had such a strong form of writing. Kafka's father had a profound impact on both Kafka's life and writing. He had a high temper and little appreciation for his son's creativity. Much of Kafka's personal struggles in terms of relationships were rough with complication. This is why in his literature there are often weakly bonded relationships. In his literature, Kafka's characters were often coming up against an overbearing power of some kind. This relates to the conflict that Kafka encountered with his father. Kafka seems to have devoured much of his literature ideas directly from his family. For much of his adult life, he lived within close proximity to his parents. This is why all of his characters often have some type of restriction. Kafka grew up with a strong education. He was one of the smarter students in his class. In 1906, Kafka received his law degree and spent the year working as a clerk. Here he met the love of his life, Felice Barr. By the year of 1917, after getting married twice, Kafka and Felice decided to go their separate ways. This is why he inquires relationship problems in the novels he writes. Afterwards, Kafka found work with an Italian insurance agency. The business did not work out, and it slowly crumbled the money of Kafka. This is why he often writes novels with indecisive characters who struggle to succeed. He later found the love of his life, Dora Diamond. They shared their Jewish roots together. Kafka and her lived happy together in Berlin. For once in his life, he had felt as if he had finally obtained true happiness. With a tumultuous life that Kafka had, he had finally had a period of time without conflict. In 1922, he later had to retire from his job due to the diagnostic of tuberculosis. In 1923, he later died from tuberculosis. This is why he often inquires characters who do not get to live their happy ending. Kafka died, he finally got to live his life of peace. He was buried next to his wife, Dora, and together, side by side, the happy couple stays. Now it is the afterlife of Kafka. Gained the majority of his fame after his death. For example, the piece The Metamorphosis, written in 1912, did not get popular till the 1940s. I would stand at the window for long periods, he wrote in his diary in 1912, and was frequently tempted to amaze the toll collector on the bridge below my plunge. Kafka followed up The Metamorphosis with The Meditation, a collection of short stories in 1913, and then, Before the Law, a short story a year later. Even with his worsening health, Kafka continued to write. In 1916, he completed The Judgment, which spoke directly about the relationship he shared with his father. Later works included The Penal Colony and A Country Doctor. Both finished in 1919. In 1924, an ill but still working man finished The Hunger Artist. This inquires 4 short stories and the wrap-up of his life. Incredibly, at the time of Kafka's death, his name was well known only to small group readers. It was after he died that Max Brod went against the demands of his friend that Kafka and his work gained fame. His looks garnered favor during World War II, especially, and greatly influenced German literature around the world today. The measure of Kafka's appeal and value as a writer was quantified in 1988, when his handwritten manuscript of The Trial was sold for $1.98 million. It was the most expensive piece of writing ever sold across the world. Kafka's writing spread from just Germany to across the world. It is indubitable to state that Kafka is one of the most influential writers today.